Good morning. Hey, here's a question for you. Is today really Sunday, February 4th? Or is it Groundhog Day again? Hey, this is your host, Jeff Ski Kinsey from Fast Charge Energy. And you got to love Bill Murray. I think you do. I think he's probably one of our finest actors. And his role in Groundhog Day, I thought was exceptional. I especially loved that scene where they're trying to leave the town, and they're out on the interstate, and the Leo stops him, and Bill gets out to explain to him, shivering and shaking as he's getting wet in the snow. You know, hey, this front's going to move off to the side. No, it did not. Anyhow, what's Groundhog Day have to do with Fast Charge Energy? I have no idea. I just love that movie. And it was almost February 2nd. Today's actually Sunday as I record this. Quick reminder, I don't know if I said it here, but it bears repeating, as R.W. Shambach might say. I do most of my writing on LinkedIn, a lot of reposting. So if you want to keep up from a written perspective, you know, I'm a visual learner, an audio learner, and I guess third would be, you know, the written word. So I'll include a link to my LinkedIn profile in the show notes, as they say. Now that February's here, expect a lot of activity from Fast Charge Energy, and also our B2C entity known as EV Concierge. That's also our primary website in the short term, evconcierge.co. Like company, but there's no M on the end. evconcierge.co. Hey, so what's new for February? A lot. We're building out the advertising campaign over on Rhino Island, rhinoisland.media. That website's not really up and running yet, but it's coming soon. Again, check out, I've got the pitch deck up on the website now, by the way. Check us out. What some people have not understood is this is all about the hospitality industry. Okay, remember, and you'll see on the pitch deck, and you'll start to see these three circles, this Venn diagram appear in almost everything we do. And the footer powered by Rhino Island Media. And you'll find that those actually stand for a trio of concepts. For example, beginning of the pitch deck, they speak to the three chargers that if you own an EV, three charging experiences, venues, if you will, that you have to be aware of. And rule number one, and remember, rule number two says be sure to check rule number one. Rule number one is if you own an EV, you must charge at home. Over 90% of the Tesla owners charge at home, okay? Over 90% of their charging is at home. That's how important it is. The big fiasco in Chicago a few weeks ago with the cold snap, at least 51% of the cause of that fiasco was not enough home charging by EV owners. The other thing was the unusual weather, an extremely cold snap. Because again, Teslas are ruling. They just took over in Iceland, as I recall. Of course, they've been big in Norway and in this, what do they call, Scandinavian countries. Anyhow, that cold snap really chews up the battery. And so if you don't charge at home, okay, keeping your battery up to an 80% charge, then you got to go to the charger. Now everybody goes to the charger at once, and there's not enough to go around. Okay, think about that. I pointed this out. It's one of our slide deck pages. I pick on Myrtle Beach because I have business interests there. And Myrtle Beach, by the way, everybody, regardless of what kind of EV you own or want to own, you should be using the PlugShare app. Okay. So I do a search on Myrtle Beach, and it says there's 83 chargers in Myrtle Beach. Okay, that's great. It's not enough, but that's great. But that's not the problem. The problem is there are only 6 chargers in Myrtle Beach that are worth you plugging your vehicle into. Only 6. 2 of them are Tesla superchargers, which only work with Teslas at this moment. But here's the problem. You need at least 10 kW if you're going to plug your car in. You're going to run in, get a cup of coffee, check your email, read the newspaper, whatever, or you're going to go out to eat somewhere or whatever. If you're going to plug in for an hour to 90 minutes, you expect 100 miles or more range, okay? That takes a charger of at least 10 kW. The second rule, which actually the third one, because remember, rule number 1 is charge at home. Rule number 2 is see rule number 1. Rule number 3 is simply this. If you're going to drive more than a few minutes or more than a few miles to a charger, that charging station must have at least 4 posts or more. I've never been to a Tesla charger that had less than 6. The one they built in my hometown, I was after them forever. I assume that had some impact. The one I have in New Philadelphia, Ohio, you can look it up on PlugShare, zip code 44663, has 12 posts, okay? Because here's what happens. If there's only 2 posts, and it's not Tesla, because again, they don't do 2 posts. Now, businesses can do that, and we actually resell Tesla home and small business chargers, but I digress. But if there's only 2 posts there, guess what? One of them's going to be broke. There's a 90% chance one of the 2 is broke. And if the other one's in use or broke, you're out of luck. Especially if the guy just pulled in and it's a wimpy charger, okay? They're going to be there for hours before you get your turn. Not a good experience. That's why I repeatedly say, I'm sorry I'm going a little long here. I repeatedly say, if you want to own an EV and you want to leave your backyard in it, there's only one vehicle on the market today you should buy in the 47 continental United States that I care about. We don't do business in Alaska, California, or Hawaii. You need to buy a Tesla. The supercharger network that they've built has no equal today. Might Rivian catch it? Don't know. They're making great strides. I fell in love with them a few years ago when they had given prototypes to these 2 motorcyclists who were riding on the Harley Davidson. At the time it was called Livewire, I think, from the tip of South America up to L.A. It's on Apple TV, by the way. I fell in love with them. They gave 2 prototypes as chase vehicles, and they helped implement charging network all the way up for the motorcycles and the truck. But there is no equal to Tesla today. Yes, promises have been made. The other OEMs are going to use the Tesla charger, going to use the NACS, the North American Charging Standard cables, but that's all vaporware for the most part, at this moment in time. Hey, I said all that to say, if we can help, reach out. Okay, my 27 ski rules for EV owners, I hope to publish later today or first thing Monday morning. Have a great day.